Welcome back to Hobson's Choice Harleys, guys. Check out the new garbage wagon. This is a stretch for me. I ended up trading Softail Sally after all that work and making that beautiful snorting stroker of an Evo. Traded that straight across for this bike. This is a 2010 Ultra Classic Limited. All the bells and whistles, CB, radio, all that fun stuff. It's got 32,000 on the clock. It's a clean bike, really clean bike. So I've stepped up to the world of the Twinkies and the touring bikes. So quite a machine. I just couldn't pass it up. And the guy that wanted my bike was, he's been hounding me forever. So he traded one of his cars for this bike. I traded him Softail Sally for this, and game on. We just keep swapping bikes around here at Hobson's Choice Harleys. If you haven't subscribed, please do. We appreciate the support on the channel. We thank you guys for watching. We're going to put this one in the stable and we're going to go back into the shop, play on the knuckle a little more. All right, guys, we're out front at the other garage. I introduced you to our new bike, GeeGee. So GeeGee is a geezer glide, old man's bike. Now we're back to a real biker's bike. Here's our 41 knuckle that we've been working on. Got my cases back. As you can see, the machining on them is gorgeous. So we're about ready to build this motor. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put these cylinders and put these heads on, and we're going to dry fit the tanks and tack on the mount for the gas tanks. Make sure everything's going to clear, and then it'll be time to take these cases. I have to split the cases apart. I'm going to do the glypticol paint in them, and we're getting real close to me running up to docks up in Colorado and line boring these, truing the wheels, basically building this whole motor. So for today, like I said, we're going to dry fit some parts and see how everything goes together. Since last time I didn't get video of it, but we did get our invader wheel in place. It all works. Everything spins. The new brake shoes. Got our license plate bracket up here with the cat's eye dash. This is the old hot rod cat's eye dash with the blue dot. You can see my holes here. I've circled those so I can weld those shut. I'm actually going to run my brake light under the seat. So I need to weld those shut. I need to come in here and feather out these dents and clean up these dents and strip this fender, because now I know the fender works. The front fender works. We're getting closer by the day. So we're going to go ahead and pull the cylinders and stick them on there and see what happens. So these have all been machined and are ready. They've been machined and bored, ready to go. Make sure I get the right one on the right one here. I think, yeah, that's front. Okay, so if we did this right, this should just suck right down in there. Looky there. Beautiful. So there's front, which means this has to be rear. So we're going to stick the rear cylinder on there. And if you take a look in there, you can see they've been cross-hatched, ready to go. So these are ready. Oh yeah. Starting to look like a motorcycle, isn't it, guys? So we got our heads here. This is our front head. I'm just putting a couple bolts just to hold her in place so we can make sure that we're not going to have any interference fit. The gas tanks and all that, I'm running 3.5 gallon tanks. And since this is an aftermarket frame, I'm just not sure how everything's going to play well together. Doc, who's going to help me build the motor, actually was a lifesaver in telling me to dry fit the motor, not assemble it, but at least get the heads on it and get these tanks where I want them before I put any type of weld, to make sure that the tanks are going to clear. So that was sound advice. All right, so I'm going to put another bolt over on that side, just so nothing is wiggling and jiggling. Okay, so if we put that one in there. Okay, so we're just trying to get a few threads in there, and I'm going to go ahead and give this one a few more turns, just so nothing moves on us. Now we've got a little wobble there. I'm not too concerned about that. This is just a dry fit. So we're going to do the same with the back cylinder. Then I'm going to go ahead and try and get this up here and get this tacked into place so we can make sure that everything's going to work. And I'm thinking of going aftermarket or not with the cat's eye dash. So I want to check fitment on all this stuff, especially before I take anything for paint. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Let me grab that other head. Our last video that just came out the other day was the video of all the parts coming. And we moved into this shop a couple weeks ago, and it's amazing how many likes and shares, and people really enjoyed that video, which is kind of cool. You just never know. That was fun. I appreciate all you guys watching and commenting and making enough videos, and we've got enough people subscribing and watching. Okay, so there we go. We got a dry fit. We got plenty of clearance. I did want to check the top motor mount to see if it's going to fit that frame. So here's our top motor mount. Again, this is a stock piece from 41. It actually has the holes for your choke bracket and stuff. So if we do that right, yeah, so it's going to fit. See, and then that'll bolt up tight there. It's going to hold it. In fact, it couldn't be a horrible thing to put that on there. I don't want to get this motor in here and go to mount the freshly painted tanks and have nothing line up right. So I'm wondering if, so I don't know, I'll have to ask Doc which way this goes if I'm upside down, and I'll get my book out and look. So it seems to fit better that way, but I'll have to look in the book, or I can wait for Doc to watch the video and tell me you're backwards. So he did tell me on the last video. So I was running this way, and it actually is supposed to be this way. So this bolt is for your T-post if you're running a seat like our Servi-Car. So you got your T-bolt, but because of the way this frame sits, if I follow this curvature, I'm not sure if I'm going to have enough clearance here. So I might end up intentionally running these backwards, and I'm using the seat post bolt for the gas tank because I'm not going to run a post on this bike. I'm going to run this Springer or this chopper seat. So I'm not sure if I'm going to run those backwards or not. Some of the things I'm building custom bikes, you have to do what you have to do to make them right. So we're close. That's pretty. So what I was going to do is I was going to try and dry fit this. Okay, so we're just wanting to tack that a little bit. Oh, he says. All right, so that should be where that sits. I'm going to come back here and look down the spine, and she's crooked. So I can tell from down here she's not in line. So we're going to try that. Now she's crooked the other way. So where's our happy medium? Okay, so that's the one right there. And then what I was going to do is see, where's my gas tank? All right. So this was the deal we wanted to see. Pretty close right there. So we're going to check. So the other day I was playing with this and I thought I had plenty of clearance, and then today she's looking a little tight. That's about it right there. You know what? We're going to get out our little welder. Got a little 110 wire feed. We're going to just put a couple of tacks in there and see if we can't put a bolt or two and get these tanks on there. The thing I really got to watch is that I have the clearance between the tanks for the dash and the cover panel. So I'm not going to run the panhead style. So I'm going to run that dash right there. First things first is let's put a couple of tack welds on that bracket and see how close we are or we aren't. And I think I'm going to actually move it forward right to there and see if I'm still straight. Give one test first because I'm on an extension cord. I don't know how well this is going to work. So on with the low speed. Okay guys, so we're just going to try and get this tacked on here and see if our tanks fit or don't. Boy, we're not getting much. Okay, that might hold it. Okay, so we're going to, and I will take this to a buddy that's got a better welder, this little Harbor Freight guy. It'll stick metal together, but without the gas behind it, it doesn't really, you can't get clean welds, clean or strong. So let's see what we did here. Oh yeah, it'll hold the tank long enough to see what's going to happen. And let's see if it stayed, well, it's straight. I don't know how we did that, but it's straight. Okay, so is this our bolt? Good a bolt as any in it. Okay, so what we're going to try and do here. Well, would you look at that? Everything clearanced. We're going to try the same on this side. Okay, cool. Nice. So now what we're going to try and do is we're just going to cheat a little. So what do you guys think? Does it look like a knucklehead? No clearance issues, nothing rubbing, nothing going to hit. What about over on that side? Okay, so we do need to get this one up a little. And then the couple things I really wanted to see was, is my dash gonna fit? Wow, okay. Okay, so that should be, okay. So we're a little tight here, which I knew we would be, but that ain't half bad. Now I do need to get these a little bit further apart. They should be about like that. But the curvature's right. Wow. So that begs the question, will this clearance? Yes, it will. Okay, so that's going to be the tough part. So I've got to get this where this hole lines up, and it's going to go the correct way, and my bottom hole is going to be tall enough. So these tanks are actually going to work pretty good. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to take the left tank off, get this where I want it, tack this on, and then I can put a spacer in there, tack everything square, and then refit the tanks and see what happens. So we're going to pull off this tank. Just because I'm not at paint doesn't mean I want to scratch things up or dent. Don't want anything dented or dinged. Okay, so that actually is about right there. Okay, so we're going to come up a little bit. Wow. Okay, so over here, of course, where did I put that stud? Okay, so if we got that in there, we got that on here. So she's pretty close. What I don't have is enough room to get my nut on there. That's what I was fighting the other day. See, so that's where I'm dry fitting. You can see this concaveness in the tank. That is for your T-post bolt to go through. But what I'm having trouble with is getting the height clearance here. And part of that is I'm rubbing here. So as you can see, this is way off. This is this jammer frame. I'm going to end up having to cut these off and re-drill this, which will give me enough clearance. And then I'm going to have to do certain spacing to make this the way it wants to be. In fact, let me show you guys. So when you buy the factory kit, this is your factory mount for up inside there. I didn't want to cut this. This was pretty well done. They're a little different. So aftermarket parts, they always take some massaging. You've always got to make them work a little bit. But that, if I do it right, will give me the clearance here that I can pick this up high enough, and then I'll be able to space stuff out to get my dash right where I want it. So I'm going to go ahead and just whack the bottom of that tab off because I know I'm going to be way up here irregardless. And we'll go from there, and we'll get back with you.
All right, you guys made it to the end. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please kickstart that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, comment what you guys think. Let me know if you have any suggestions for video ideas or topics you guys want covered, and I'll do my best to include those in my next projects. You guys can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. Also, don't forget to check out the Beacons link in the description below. See you next time.